Hello, I'm John Degree from Classical Historian. Thank you so much for joining me for this talk on teaching history and civics with games and the Socratic discussion. So first off, just an introduction to classical historian. Uh, this is our family over here. My wife and I have been married for 32 years. We have 7 kids. Now they're aged 15 to 29. And we began homeschooling when our oldest son, Adam, he's 29 right now. We began homeschooling when he was in 3rd grade, for many of the reasons why you are homeschooling, right? So really dissatisfaction with the public schools, a strong desire to raise our kids in a Christian environment at home, also so the children can build good uh, relationship skills. And as far as history and literature, we really wanted the kids to be able to read, write, speak well, think independently, be critical thinkers, be able to say what they thought with their own perspective. And we just couldn't find that in the school system. And it was about that time as well when I began writing history curriculum. I'm from Southern California, born and raised in Southern California. My wife is from Prague, uh, used to be communist Czechoslovakia, and we met when I was studying in Europe about 33, 34 years ago. And I was studying the German language, Czech language, history, and government. And um, so classical historian was created to promote the ideas of liberty, virtues, and Socratic discussion. Um, I noticed when I began teaching history in the classroom, which was about 27 years ago, that kids really didn't like history. They were bored with it. And they also weren't being asked what they thought about it. So I had grown up in an environment with a very big family. I'm 10 of 11 children. And my dad would engage us always in discussions. We went to public school. We weren't homeschooled back then, right? In the 70s and 80s. And I had learned that when you are learning something about the past, it's important to read a few different sources and also to have discussions with others and to be patient and calm and to listen what other people say and to learn from them. And so from these experiences, I believe, this is my main inspiration for founding Classical Historian, so that Americans, all Americans, would get used to that idea of learning history and government and civics with this idea of searching for the truth, being patient, letting others speak, reading various sources. And for kids, of course, the kids, especially K5, K6, they really like to play games, have fun, show their parents and adults what they know. And they're really drawn to beauty. And so, in many ways, my wife really comes in strong in those areas because she is the designer of much of our history games. So, a lot of people, when they go to homeschooling, have a couple of problems. One is, how do I teach history when I hated it learning in school? Because for many, that was that was an experience. They hated listening to someone talk about history and just blah 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 blah. And then how do I nurture honest and inquisitive children in history when I don't like or know history? So this has been the focus of our company. It has been the focus of my teaching career throughout. And we've created a lot of materials and ideas to help parents, homeschool parents, and classroom teachers get there. So first off, I'd like to introduce our engaging games and curriculum. And we'll start off with the games. Games are excellent for learning history and government, and there really aren't a whole lot of great games out there. I've created a couple of very short videos that show our games in a very good way, and I'd like to start off by showing you the first game that we have, which is such a simple game that I think sometimes people don't think it's so important, but a lot of times with young children, they're overlooked. Um, the most important parts or times in a person's development, many people say, many experts say, is from the ages of 0 to 3, right? 0 to 3. They learn so much from their parents during that time. And so this memory game is for ages 5 to 10. We have three different memory games: an American memory game, a medieval history memory game, and an ancient history memory game. And it is through these games where kids are introduced to important images and what they are called. And of course, they try to match the tiles. I'm going to just go ahead and play part of a short video on one of our memory games right here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and connect it here. Boom, boom, boom. Give me a second, please. I'm sorry about that. Making sure I connect it correctly. There we go. Okay, this is just be a 1-minute video on our memory game. It's the next person's turn. Socrates. Socrates, when you found a match, you place those matches in front of you. Those are yours. That's your score. And you go again. And you continue playing the game until all the matches have been found. Now, when kids play this game, it's great for memory skills. They also learn what things are called and what they look like. And these images that are here match our images in our ancient history Go Fish game, which comes with a little booklet that describes a paragraph of everything a kid needs to know about that thing. So you could also match these two games to learn a little bit more history. That's our ancient history memory game. Okay, so just a quick view of the ancient history memory game. And this game right here is our Go Fish game. Now, this is the favorite for kids ages 10 and older. And we have a variety of Go Fish games. We have 10 Go Fish games teaching ancient history, classical Greece and Rome, medieval history, American history, US presidents, American Revolution, the Constitution, modern world history, and modern American history. And there are 2 ways to play the Go Fish game. I'd like to play this video right here, which will show you how to play the Go Fish game and the Collect the Cards game with the same cards. Again, if you have any questions during this, please go ahead and chat them, and I will get to those questions. And here we go. Our history Go Fish games. There are many ways to play, but I'm going to describe 2. The first one is called Go Fish, and it is the easiest way to play. So what you do is you pass out 4 cards per person. So let's imagine there are 3 other people here playing. Then I take my cards in my hand and I see what I have. And so I see that I have, for example, Cincinnatus. He's in the Roman Republic, and there are 4 cards in the Roman Republic that I am searching for. So I would ask here, someone who's sitting right here, let's say Christina's right here, I would say, Christina, do you have the Roman aqueduct? And if she says yes, she would give me that card, and then I would continue asking the other people for the other cards. But if she says no, then I have to go fish for a card and get something else. So I did not get the Roman aqueduct. So then it becomes this person's turn to play. And then this person would ask someone specifically for a card that they need. Now, let's imagine that we've been playing for a while and I've captured these 4 cards, which are all from the same category. So once I have them, I put them in front of me face up, and that means that I've scored, okay? That these are mine, no one can take them away. And at the very end of the game, whoever has the most 4 of a kinds wins the game. Now the game ends when there are no cards here And when all of the cards that we have, we've placed them on the table with the four of a kinds. And that is the four of a kind game. It teaches history by association because you learn what things belong to each other. And it also just teaches some basic facts about what things are called and what they look like. So it's just a great way to learn those basic things. Now, the second way to Okay, so I'd like to point out a couple of things here. Normally, when kids learn history, they're learning from somebody talking and explaining, and they're silent and passive. And so when we learn things in a passive way, it's very hard for us to internalize them and to remember them forever. And so that's one reason why when we learn history in a normal setting, we forget it very often. I've heard so many times people say, I know I learned that, but I can't remember. I'm really bad at history. And one reason why people think they're bad at learning history is because most of history instruction is passive. But with this card game, when the kids are seeing the different cards from the different categories, they're seeing which cards fit together. They're also saying the names of the cards out loud, and they're having interactions with other kids at the table, then they're internalizing these images, these titles, these cards, and it's easier for them to learn these basic points in history. And with our games, what I like to do with the games is when there's time for history, to begin the history class with a game. Play maybe 20 minutes of the game, maybe 25 minutes of the game. Kids will always like it. It's interactive. Also, you get to know your children better while you're playing the game, and it makes it fun for them. So then after that, then you can go directly to the history lesson. Now, this second game that is going to be described here is called Collect the Cards, and this game is more complicated. It teaches more history, and by the age of 10 or 11, kids really get excited for it and they want to win all of the cards. So I'll go ahead and play the video. To play, which is kind of the most popular game among young teenagers and teens, is called Collect the Cards. Collect the Cards. Now, in Collect the Cards, you begin by taking out 4 cards from the same category. Easiest is if you begin with the first category. In our Ancient Civilizations game, this is Ancient Egypt. And then you place those 4 cards out on the table so everybody can see them. And somebody reads out loud the 4 paragraphs from those 4 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and read out loud paragraph 1, which is the Great Sphinx of Giza. The Sphinx can also be called the Terrifying One or the Father of the Dread. It is a statue of a mythical creature, perhaps a god, with a lion's body and a human head. It stands on the bank of the Nile River in Giza, Egypt, close enough to the Great Pyramids to be called their guardian. It is not exactly known when the Sphinx was built and which Egyptian built it, but historians believe it was constructed around 2500 BC. Some believe the Sphinx involves solar worship, but no one is completely sure. So you read out loud the 4 paragraphs that describe these 4 cards. Then you take the cards and you mix them up a little bit, and then you place them in the middle. And the first person is the reader, and he reads out loud the first hint. Hint number 1, mythical creature. Now this person then has 5 seconds to guess what's on the card. If they take too long, the reader has to say, time's up. Then you say the same hint, mythical creature. And the second person who's playing guesses what's on the card. If you cannot guess it, then the third person gets a guess. Then you go to hint number 2, guardian of pyramids. Now, if somebody guesses it correctly, you give them the card and they win it. But if nobody guesses the card after 3 hints, then the reader wins it. Then the next person is the reader. Okay, so this way you take turns. All right, and so those are the basic, that's the structure of how to play the game. And when you play this game once a week for about 2 to 3 months, then the kids will have memorized all of the hints as well as all of the information from the booklet. And they will have then just the basic knowledge of the who, what, when, and where of whichever game that they're playing. And they'll like it also. They'll have fun. So later, when the kids go to read something in a history book, they'll already know quite a bit of information about it. And one problem kids have in reading history is that if they don't know anything about what they're reading, it's very hard for them to focus and to learn more. But if somebody already knows basic information about what they're reading, then it's much easier for them to add more information. So history is like that. You build in small steps, and as you age, you add more and more information and ideas to it. So these Go Fish games are really an excellent way to learn. Here are a couple of images up close. And what's interesting is little kids especially are very observant. And so after I've played these games with my children when they were young, we would be driving around town or going somewhere, and they would point out, look, Dad, a Model T Ford. Or maybe in an airport, there would be a replica of a Wright brothers airplane. So they would be culturally aware of these important things. And many, I would say, the majority of American kids today are not growing up with this cultural awareness of important things from ancient history, medieval history, and American history. And it's a great problem. A couple more images from the Go Fish game. So civics. Civics is something that I've been thinking about throughout my teaching career. My dad was a very patriotic person, and so am I. And it's always been a big sad point for me that Americans are no longer, I guess, in love with their country and with the founding principles of liberty and equal rights for all. And I was thinking how to solve this issue from classical historian. And so we created something which I think doesn't exist anywhere else, and that is a civics curriculum for kindergarten through 5th grade. And it's a series of coloring books with important information on basic topics, okay? And the 7th book is a songbook where kids learn 20 patriotic, folk, and fun songs. And we created a little video on this, and I'd like to show you about 2 minutes of it, if you allow me to, and we'll go to there right now.
We have a solution. Classical Historians' American Civics K-5 curriculum teaches children what every citizen needs to know, and it does so in a fun and engaging way. This 7-book curriculum answers: what does it mean to be an American? What is America's heritage? What is the importance of the Declaration of Independence? How does the U.S. government work according to the Constitution? How is a law made? How should citizens behave in a free republic? Who are America's heroes? How did Americans end slavery? What are key dates and events in our history? What are America's patriotic and folk songs? Classical Historians' American Civics fills the great void in American education. It is an engaging and age-appropriate civics curriculum for elementary students. Each book contains short and clearly written lessons, followed by a coloring page. Included in each book are lessons in virtue. Virtues are taught through the lives of American heroes, such as the American Founding Fathers. Each book has multiple choice tests. For the younger children in kindergarten through the second grade, parents and teachers read the lessons out loud and help answer the questions. These students then color in the coloring pages. Older elementary level students take the keywords contained in the back of each book and rewrite the lessons. These students then make oral presentations to the class or to the family. American Civics is designed for whole classrooms or in homes. Book 7 is a songbook of patriotic, folk, and fun songs, along with guitar chords. Use our recorded songs to play for your children as you drive in the car or start or end your day. We need to revive.
Okay, so that's an introduction to our civics curriculum, and really we're very excited about this. I think that we've answered a question that or a problem that has been out there for quite a while, and take a look at this. It's really a wonderful series. So, Socratic discussion. I'd like to talk about this for ages 12 and over. Once a child hits age 12, they start to have many opinions, and they're beginning to express these opinions. And it's a really good thing. You know, sometimes for parents, we miss that age. For me, I'm older, and all of my kids are past the age of 12 now, past the age of 13. And before that time, it's really magical time, right? Kids just want to please their parents. They're excited about everything. But by the age of 12 or 13 or so, they start to question things, and they want to know more as well, and they have their own opinions. And so with history, unfortunately, normally they're just taught what to memorize, and that's boring. But classical historian approach, we use a classical approach where students learn the basic tools of the historian. There are many tools. These are some of them. They learn what is a fact and what is an opinion, and how, when you are forming historical judgment, you need to base your historical judgment on facts. And opinions may guide you in trying to search for facts, but strong historical judgment needs to be based on fact. Kids learn how to analyze primary and secondary sources, how to read texts from the time period that the history was taking place from an eyewitness, and also how to read history texts that are written by historians. The Socratic discussion. Teachers and students learn how to have a discussion where opposing sides are presented in a historical topic, and they have a discussion about this. 12 and 13 and 14-year-old really is the greatest time to start this. And for parents and for teachers who love their children, they're the best teachers of this process. Because sometimes if you have a historian who believes he knows everything, he just wants to lecture, and it's impossible to have a Socratic discussion then. But if you have a person who is open to learning and hearing different sides and weighing different pieces of evidence, then it is actually the best form or best method, best approach in learning Socratic discussion. And then the final step is writing in history. When you want to develop someone's analytical thinking and teach them how to have strong arguments, then the writing in history really is the final and best step. So exciting for me as a history teacher is learning what students think, and also learning for myself. And with our curriculum, these are some sample questions that we use for grades 6 through 12. Did the American founding fathers create the freest country in 1776? So I'm a writer of history, and my son Adam, who is our online class instructor, um, edits and revises my books. And so he and I recently just had a discussion on this point right here. Okay. And he brought up his pieces of evidence that he had. I brought up mine. And it was very, very fun. Second one, was Andrew Jackson or anybody in history a hero, a villain, or neither? So in one of my classrooms right now, we are studying the age of exploration. And so we had a discussion about Christopher Columbus. Was he a hero, a villain, or neither? Okay, so in California, where I am, kids don't study or they don't honor Christopher Columbus anymore with a day off from school. But what happens also is they don't study Christopher Columbus or the age of exploration. The state, led by our governor, calls Christopher Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day. And so what's happening is that kids just don't know anything about their past, which is probably um, maybe like a devious plan to rid our children of their common historical heritage. Was the US justified in dropping the atomic bomb on Japan? So this is a great question for high school American history. And I just dealt with this topic as well. I'm writing an American history book for high school. And this is an important thing to discuss. Kids will learn about, many things during World War II, um, and have a really, really strong answer to this question. Compare and contrast a free market system to a planned economy, which is better? Um, this is a great topic to discuss, and kids really like this in high school. And what's exciting right now also is in Argentina, right, where Milei just became prime minister. He is acting this out. He is changing their um, planned economy system to a free market system. So it'll be fun to see how that plays out. What is the proper role of religion in American education? You know, we forget that just a few generations ago, every classroom in America started with prayer. Every classroom, right? Before, I think, 1958 or so. So religion used to be the key role in American education. Of course, now it's not in public school education, but things change over time. So it's important to have discussions to find out things and to learn. Uh, Next question. Who has been America's greatest demagogue? Okay. So then kids learn what is a demagogue, how do demagogues work? They learn about demagogues in history, and then they view this in American history. Did the New Deal weaken or strengthen America? So all of these questions challenge kind of like a mainstream revisionist way of thinking. Today, our history curriculum are written by revisionists, mainly anti-American, anti-Western civilization historians. And these questions challenge those interpretations. Was George Washington essential for the success of the American Revolution? Right? So really important our kids understand and appreciate our founding fathers and what they stood for, what they did. Was Napoleon a hero villain? Was Charlemagne more of a hero or a villain? So I'm going to go back to our website and just to show you, not another video, but just to show you a few things from our website that maybe makes this a little bit clearer. So go to our homepage and let me go ahead and expand this. Okay. So on our homepage, if you go to curriculum, the first stop is this. It's a teaching the Socratic discussion in history DVD seminar. So I created this many years ago because I was requested to. I was requested to create a curriculum for parents, for homeschool parents, or for a history teacher who is not comfortable teaching using the Socratic discussion in history. So it's a 6 DVD set program, comes with a book, in this nice little beautiful box there. And it teaches how to teach the Socratic discussion in history. Also, it includes a practicum with students where I am teaching a group of students this way, and then students have a discussion. And then I'm also teaching how to teach writing in history. Uh, this is also located in our Dolphin Society. The Dolphin Society is our teacher subscription service where for $9 a month, uh, you get all of the DVDs from the Teaching the Socratic Discussion DVD seminar. You also receive 3 years of 3 years of video of me teaching ancient, medieval, and American history to junior high students. So you get that as well. And a number of other items. We have an 88 video story of liberty history course there. We have 20 hours of podcasts that teach how to lead the Socratic discussion in 60 different open-ended questions. Um, and every year we have a history book club where we meet monthly uh, with a couple of parents and myself. At the beginning of the year, I choose a history book. Next year, I believe I'm going to be choosing History of the Jews by Paul Johnson. This year, we read 2 books on the French Revolution. And the first 30 minutes of the talk, I review the readings. And then I shut the recording off. And after that, we have a discussion. So if you feel that you don't really know history that well, we now have 5 years of book club recordings. And one year we read a book on American history, another year on world history. So it's a quick way to catch up on history. You can have 10, 30-minute summaries of history in a video format. We'll go back to this area. And so once you feel comfortable, okay, I'm ready, I can teach the Socratic discussion in history, then you choose the curriculum that you're going to teach. So let's say that you're going to teach American history, junior high school. And each of our programs comes with a history text and workbooks. The workbooks include the tools of the historian. They include questions. They include tests for each unit. And they come with a student guide and a teacher guide. And each of them, I think our company is unique in that we never give an instruction that would sound like this. Go have your discussion with your students, have a Socratic discussion. We always show how to do it and have examples how to do it. Um, so it's hard work creating all of this, but it's also very satisfying that when someone uses it, it works right away and it's clear. So my dad was a junior high school teacher. I have been teaching junior high school for 27 years and working on this curriculum for quite a long time. And it's really satisfying to see it work. And so that's just kind of a quick view of our website there. And this program, this is one book, America's Federal Holidays. Our federal holidays happen about once a month throughout the year. So whatever curriculum you're using, your children should be learning the meaning behind our federal holidays. Our federal holidays are very inspiring. The people that we honor on these days did great things. They sacrificed much for our country. And when students read these articles that I've written, they have a love and respect for America's heroes and for the meaning of America. And this is something that you could do as a family. The dad, for example, kind of easy lesson for him to join in. He could read out loud the lesson, go over the questions and answers with the family. It's just about once a month. And I guess want to just point out to everyone, our bias is we are pro-Western civilization. Our perspective on history could be called a Western civilization perspective, a Judeo-Christian perspective. Our materials are not religious materials, so they're written for public school use, definitely. Kind of like all history books before the 1900s in America were written, okay? Written with this idea of the importance of individual rights, honoring the foundation documents of the United States of America, showing our Western civilization, our history, our historical background, okay? And mentioned about the Dolphin Society. Um, it's a good thing when we're teaching that we are always learning. Okay, we can understand what our children are going through more if they have a difficulty in something. If sometimes we have a difficulty in something, it's important as a teacher to be forgiving. And when we're striving to be more, to be better, then it's kind of easier for us to understand our kids more. And I think history is something that is overlooked. Um, Parents maybe focus on the language arts and the math, and those are important, of course, but the history is essential to keeping our freedoms. Classical historian, we have an online academy, and our online academy is for junior high and high school. And my son Adam, who's now 29, he is our instructor. And there are separate classes for ancient medieval American history and junior high literature. So he teaches the Socratic discussion literature courses. And all of these have a supplement where you could add writing as well, or not. And then these are the high school courses. Now we have something interesting too that's unique is we have online video courses. Now these are courses in history where I've recorded maybe 80, 10 to 15-minute lessons in medieval history or American history. I have PowerPoint presentations, and then students learn online. And then every 5 lessons or so, there is an online test. They have to pass that test in order to get to the next section. So it's a very cost efficient way to learn history. More than half off of our live courses, and you go at your own pace. So these are the online video courses. And we have recorded live courses. So during our year with the kids, with the online academy, all courses are recorded, and then you can go back and view them at your leisure. And someone who is not officially in the course, but they're in the recorded live courses, um, it's a very, very cost-effective way. So maybe I'll just quickly show that where that is on our website. So we'll go here. So Online Academy. And these are the live courses right here. And I see that I haven't been here in quite a while, and my online academy about the Cambridge classes schedule, video courses. So these are the video courses where you go at your own pace. For a high school course, we have Michael Allen, author of The Patriots History of the United States. And then these are our 2 courses for our video courses. And let me just return to presentation. Okay. So we do offer a 10% off coupon off everything through May 17th. The code is COAST in honor of this Coast to Coast little online conference that I have with Dale Cox from Edible Knowledge. So I'm really, really glad that my wife and I met him when we were in Alaska last year at the conferences. And this is something new that we've never done together, and really excited to begin working with him. So I'm open now. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, you can chat your questions, or you can raise your virtual hand, or you could also just unmute yourself as well. There's only a few of you here. So please feel free to ask any questions. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut off the record right now. So I'm going to stay here. So for all of you watching the recorded lesson, thank you very much. If you see this before May 17th, you can use that 10% Coast coupon.